A country of over a billion, India has a long history of poor sanitation and limited access to clean water. The water quality is increasing across the country. Adequate sanitation covers just 21% of the rural communities, which alone easily doubles the population of the United States. Government institutions in charge of operating and maintaining the sanitation districts of India made major strides towards better water quality in the late 1990s and early 2000s, but a lack of funding and a rapidly growing populace brought the project to a halt. In response to a failing federal budget, communities throughout the country have held village sanitation meetings, installed water meters, and commenced public-private partnerships. Despite these efforts, only 2 cities have close to continuous water supply, placing immense dependency on the Ganges River. As of 2003, it was estimated that only 27% of India's wastewater was being treated, the rest flowing freely into rivers, canals, and eventually the ocean. This has transformed the sacred Ganges into an infested, disease-ridden waterway, which in some places has been described as black sludge. The water quality has been labeled with over 10,000 times the recommended safe limit of fecal bacteria, the cause of the famous Delhi belly, terrible stomach aches and diarrhea, an inevitability for every unsuspecting tourist. With the population estimated to surpass China's by 2025 and reach 1.5 billion by 2050, India's water shortages, sanitation issues, and pollution of natural waterways will only increase if no new solutions reach. The most plausible is to introduce several foreign investment programs to revive the federal projects left dormant since the early 2000s. India's rich history as a world power has faded significantly because of a government incapable of providing basic amenities. This collapse can only be repaired by a worldwide effort set in motion in the near future.
With a country of over 36 million, Uganda faces heavy water shortages and sanitation issues. In an estimate done last year by the Ugandan government, only 72% of the population has access to water, and a mere half has access to improved sanitation. As a result of these poor living conditions, waterborne diseases are common. Cholera and dysentery are the 2 biggest causes of infant mortality annually and have an estimated impact of 5,000 deaths each year. Both of these diseases come with nasty side effects ranging from diarrhea, vomiting, inflammation of the intestine, abdominal pain, and nausea. Side effects often come within a few days of obtaining the disease. With a lack of a drainage system in a large area of the country, many people are forced into using springs and other surface sources that are highly contaminated due to poor drainage and little regulation of disposal. High population growth in villages stresses water and sanitation needs even further. Nonetheless, the Ugandan water supply and sanitation sector has been recognized as a key area under the 2004 Poverty Eradication Action Plan, PEAP, Uganda's main strategy to fight poverty. Since the mid-1990s, a comprehensive expenditure framework has been introduced to coordinate financial support by external donors, the national government, and non-profit organizations. The PEAP estimates that from 2001 to 2015, about $1.4 billion, or $92 million per year, are needed to increase the water supply coverage up to 95%. Seeking funds from the World Bank, Germany, the United States, and the African Development Fund, Uganda has yet to accumulate all the money needed. Although Uganda has made leaps of improvement in the last decade, many regions of the country are still unaffected by the framework and funds regulated by this government. As we near 2015, the PEAP hopes to have built enough facilities and systems to cover 95% of the country. A report published recently in the medical journal, The Lancet, concluded that poor water sanitation and a lack of safe drinking water take a greater human toll than war, terrorism, and weapons of mass destruction combined. The funds given from the contributing countries have so far been implemented into the investigation of creating protected springs, boreholes, protected wells, and gravity flow schemes. Funds have also helped in the service of water supply and sewerage to 22 large cities. In small towns, with a population between 5,000 to 30,000, facilities have been built and managed by local government but are still relying on the funds of PEAP. So what steps can we take to ensure Uganda can operate continuously, independent of external funds, by the end of the decade? We can all participate in programs like the Uganda Living Water Run, which team up with missionaries around Uganda. These nonprofits take donations and money received from their events to set up self-sufficient and cost-effective wells.
These 2 countries represent more than 1 of every 7 people on this planet, and providing them with the resources vital as water must be put amongst the top priorities of all who are exceptionally privileged.